What do you do when your script is too similar to another script idea? Hello, I'm Jason Inman, and this is Mythmakers, a writing podcast. My goal is to interview writers, actors, and creators on some of their favorite stories to dive deep and learn with you more about their storytelling process. I think how people contemplate their favorite movies and television gives us a mirror into their creative process, into how they make modern myths, if you will. Today's guest is Mark Reilly. Now, many people know him as Yodi on the movie trivia Schmodown on Collider, but he's also an accomplished writer, having won many screenwriting contests that you'll hear about on today's episode. So let's dive deep and let's talk some story. Okay, Mark, you are the first guest of this podcast. Thank you for breaking the seal.
I love it. I love being the first guest, and I am actually very honored to be the first guest with you, my friend.
Man. Yeah. All right, so before we get into your favorite characters of fiction and your favorite books and things like that, I want to ask you, what is your writing process? What works best for you? Are you a night writer, a morning writer, or do you like to just do it once a week? What is your writing process?
My writing process is all over the place, depending on work and work schedule, but I usually try to write every day after work. If I get home around 6:30 or 7, I usually try to put in at least an hour.
Okay, and by that, is it just the time function? You're just like, okay, I'm going to write an hour, or do you have a word count or a page count?
I don't have a word count or a page count.
Okay.
I have a time. Yeah, because it's usually like I have only about an hour before I need to get fed. I need to tie up some loose ends with work, hang out with my girlfriend, at the end of the day. So when I get home, I usually have about an hour to myself. So that's when I try to actually write. It's the weekends that I tend to try to do more and do a page count. So like weekends on a Saturday or a Sunday, I'll try to get at least 3 pages.
Oh, nice. So, you're very disciplined. I like that. And this is something important.
Trying.
You might be hearing Mark's washer dryer in the background.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Imagine that as a ticking clock for him to get his page count for today.
Exactly. That's the way to look at it.
So another question I want to ask you is, just because some people might only know you from the Schmodown, some people might only know you from the Schmoes No Show.
Right.
What are your writing bona fides? Like, pimp yourself out. Let's talk about Mark. Let's talk about how good a writer you are.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, let's go back then. I started writing, pretty much right out of college, honed the craft. The biggest thing I think that kind of put me on the map for at least for a step forward for my career was I wrote this script called Archangel, which I called Angels with the Matrix. So it's basically
was
like
this post-Matrix as well?
Yeah, this was post-Matrix.
Okay, right.
And this was I kind of looked at it as like, we have guardian angels out there and they're actually warriors. And we have like a very cool gritty Matrix feel to it. And so I submitted that to the Nickel Fellowship.
Oh, yes. That's the very famous.
It's through the Academy.
Yeah, I was going to say it is through the Academy Awards.
Yeah. And so.
And they only pick 10 people a year? 8 people a year?
Pick 10 people a year, I believe. And so I was shocked when I made it into the, I believe, the quarterfinals.
What year was this?
This was in 2000 and probably 5.
Wow, man.
Yeah, a long time ago. So, got into the quarterfinals and they're like, congratulations, out of 7,000 scripts, you've been picked for the top 300. And I'm like, wow, okay, that's pretty cool. Didn't expect to get any further than that. Then I got another notice that said, you've made it to the semifinals. So out of 300, you're down to 150. And I was like, wow. And
do you get anything for the quarterfinals or the semifinals? Is it only the top prize?
It's only the top prize.
Okay.
You don't get anything. You get this letter that says you're cool.
Right.
Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, this is great. And so then I got into not the finals. There's one more stage. I probably did this backwards, but I made it down to the last, I believe, 100 scripts.
Wow.
And then it was going to be cut down to the 10.
Yeah.
And so I was really like, oh my God, is this going to happen?
Yeah.
I didn't make it to the 10, but what it did do was they're like, now we're going to release the list. We're going to release the
top 100?
The top 100.
Oh, nice.
So I got a manager out of that.
Really? A writing manager?
A writing manager.
And this was right out of the gate after college?
No, 2005. So I had been out of college for like 5 years.
Okay,
almost.
okay.
So,
but still pretty damn good.
I try. Yeah. So that was really cool. The manager got me a little bit of work. I was hired to write a script for a producer And it didn't go anywhere. You know, it was
Now,
fine.
can I back up a little bit?
Sure.
Did the manager contact you because of the 100 list, or did you contact the manager?
They contacted me. I actually got contact a lot. I got a lot of different managers, and I was really like,
See, there you go, guys.
oh, okay, this is a great process.
See, this is great because I think for a lot of people, they're always like, how do I become the screenwriter?
Yeah.
And you just gave a solution. Write a great script, get in the top 100. You'll probably get a manager out of it.
Yes. I can't actually say enough of, contests, because if you can actually get pretty far in these online contests, prestigious or otherwise, it's a nice little thing on your resume.
You recently won a contest as well, and forgive me, it was the Chicago Groundlings contest. Am I correct about that?
It was the Second City.
Yeah, Second City.
Through
Excuse me.
Chicago. Yeah,
I just mixed up the improv.
that's quite all right. That was my writing partner, Lisa Gottman, and I wrote a comedy script. And she did the submission, kind of very similar Nickel Fellowship, and went, should we do it? And I'm like, yeah, it sounds fun. Let's do it. And then shockingly enough, we won the entire thing. So that was when we got not a manager, but a producer attached themselves to this script that we're still trying to figure out right now.
All right.
She kind of dropped off the face of the map, which is another part of this business. Sometimes people will ghost you.
Yes, that happens a lot.
And they will disappear, and they will be very excited to work with you. And then their options or things change within their business, as the case with this producer.
Can I ask a question here,
Sure,
though?
please.
Have you received any kind of payday? I'm not asking for specifics, but has the producer optioned it towards a paycheck for Mark Reilly?
No, not yet.
Okay.
That's
the other downside of it.
Yes, that's the other downside. It's kind of contingent on if we can get it made or get it, get somebody attached, then we set up the kind of payment later on down the line. We're cool with it, but we are feeling like we're losing out. We're losing out on some options. So Lisa and I are going to
Lisa is your writing partner?
My writing partner.
What's her full name?
Lisa Gottman.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long have you worked with her?
I went to college with her.
Okay.
So I've known her for...
So she's always been your writing partner?
She hasn't always been. She's been a 20-year-old friend.
Okay.
And then we came up with this idea kind of hanging out one night, and then we started writing, and there we go. We wrote this script together. It's our first together. Actually, it's our second. I forgot about that. Right out of college, we wrote a script together, and it was ugly as hell. It was awful. It had some great ideas in it.
All first scripts are, man.
Yeah. And that was our learning curve. And we had always said we loved working together. It was our second script called The List that we were very, very, I felt like we really hit a stride.
Can you give me the elevator pitch of it?
The elevator pitch is everybody has a celebrity list
of who they can have sex with.
Of who they can have sex with in case they run into that person. And so our couple has been dating for many, many years, and they're kind of in a stale state. They're kind of, call it a 5-year, 6-year relationship where he hasn't pulled the trigger yet on marriage. They're kind of just very comfortable with their life. And then she runs into one of her celebrities.
Okay.
And in a drunken, debaucherous night, she wakes up at his house and doesn't know what happened.
Oh, interesting.
And so then it kind of goes from there, and they have to choose, between each other or this new celebrity kind of life that's kind of thrust on them. And then it's kind of a romantic comedy. Yeah. By the end, they realize, you know what? No. And they get back together. So, but it's very funny.
That's a great elevator pitch.
Well, thank you.
I'd see that movie.
Okay, good. I like it. So I really like it. And so we're going to take that momentum off of this script, and we are going to write a pilot as well.
Oh, great.
So we're going to work together. And Lisa, what I love about Lisa is that she's like, she had this idea. I'm going to respect her wishes because she wants to beat it out and know the pitch. But she came to me with a very interesting idea and with a lot of strong women characters. And that's what I love about Lisa.
Nice.
I'm like, okay, because I feel like there is a change happening in the industry, and I can't wait to kind of tap into that.
Now, before we get to picking your brains about some of your fictional characters and stuff, what type of writer are you? You just mentioned that your writing partner, Lisa, likes to beat everything out. Do you just like to write without knowing anything? Do you got to beat out every moment? Now, myself, I have to beat out every scene.
Okay.
I want to know where we're going. And I allow within the beat sheet some, turns here and there. I'll be like, oh no, the character wouldn't do this, but I want that beat sheet because I feel comfortable once I have that. What kind of writer are you?
I am very similar. I have beat out scripts, done the beat sheet, done the treatments. One of the other projects I worked with Christian Harloff on, Masters of the Universe, and that was at Warner Brothers and Silver Pictures before they let the property lapse.
Yep.
I wrote a beat sheet, a treatment, and then we couldn't get to the script process because they turned it down. And that was, but we were working on it for a while. So that was a good example of when a treatment really worked for me.
If you want to hear more of this podcast, you can hear the full episode over at patreon.com/Jawiin. That's Jawiin. My patrons are the whole reason that this dream podcast of mine happened. So head over there and become a patron if you want to hear the full podcast episode. Thanks for listening.